Hey guys, what is up? It is SSD Middleman here with GuidesForUsAll, and today I'm going to be showing you all of the Greatbows in Dark Souls 2. If you want to skip ahead to a certain one, click it on screen right now, but let's get started. The Alon Greatbow is the first Greatbow you're going to get, most likely. You can get it from the Alon Captains in Iron Keep or Drangleic Castle as a rare drop. Now, I never managed to get it from these guys as a drop. I farmed them forever. I have terrible luck with rare weapon drops. So instead, you can go to the Crown of the Old Iron King DLC, go to the Foyer Bonfire and backtrack, go across the chain, which will bring you to a tower that is constantly cursing you. You go down a few floors and you'll find a circular platform with an enemy on it, jump onto it, and the Alon Greatbow +5 will be sitting there waiting for you. Much easier to get than farming these enemies for hours and hours. Now, the Alon Greatbow is the most generic Greatbow in the game. Like all Greatbows, it's going to use a lot of stamina, and it's going to take longer to pull back. However, this one has a faster fire rate and lower stamina cost than the other ones. So this is going to be your quickest shooting Greatbow. It's pretty fun to use, and another special thing about the Greatbows is if you manage to connect that attack, it will knock your enemies flat on their back. Just knock them on their ass, throw them on the ground. That is why I love these things. Now, another great thing about these guys is at rank 10, you will be doing 260 base damage. Very, very nice for damage per shot in this weapon, and it'll have a C scaling in strength and dexterity. The requirements to use it are 20 strength and 25 dexterity. Not crazy high, so you could use this weapon pretty fast off in the beginning of the game if you manage to get it as a drop from the Alon Captains. But there are some more Greatbows to check out, so let's move on to the Dragon Slayer Greatbow. The Dragon Slayer Greatbow is obtained by trading the Old King Soul to Weaponsmith Ornifex. Now, to get the Old King Soul, you will have to fight the Old Iron King on New Game Plus. Now, you can use a bonfire ascetic on that last area in the Iron Keep, and you will still get the Old King Soul. So either use a bonfire ascetic there, or play all the way through the game, get to New Game Plus, and fight the Old Iron King again. Now, this weapon is upgraded with Petrified Dragon Bone, so it is going to be a little bit more costly to rank up, but there is a benefit. Once you get it to rank 5, it will have a base damage of 290, even higher than the Alon Greatbow. It will have a B scaling in strength and a C scaling in dexterity. However, the requirements are a little bit higher at 30 strength and 20 dexterity. Now, this thing will be doing more damage. However, there are even more bad things you have to worry about. There are a lot of cons with this weapon. You have to re-anchor it between shots. No matter how much remaining stamina you have, you can't just pull it back again. You have to re-anchor it on the ground before you pull it back. And the initial shot and each subsequent shot are going to take a little bit longer to use than with the Alon Greatbow. It also makes you take a short step back every time you shoot. So if you're really close to an edge, you need to be careful. You might fall off the map and probably end up pretty pissed off. Now, this never happened to me, but if it did, I'd probably be cracking up hysterically because that's just one of those silly things that happens in Dark Souls. This one's really fun to use. However, you are going to either need to be a great distance away from your enemies, or I have no other idea how this could be practical because of the time it takes to get it ready to shoot. Anyways, let's move on to the Possessed Armor Greatbow. The Possessed Armor Greatbow is a very rare drop from Possessed Armor enemies in the Crown of the Old Iron King DLC. When you get to the Broom Tower, you're going to be fighting these guys every now and then. There's not a ton of them, but if you are lucky enough, and you have to be very lucky to get this from them, you will get the Possessed Armor Greatbow. Now, unfortunately, unlike the one that they use, you cannot put this Greatbow up in the air and have it shoot at the enemies by itself. I was so excited to see that happen, but unfortunately you cannot do that. Now, opposed to the other Greatbows, this is a dexterity dedicated Greatbow with an A scaling in dexterity at rank 10 and a D scaling in strength. The base damage will be 200, plus it will be dealing 60 damage in dark, which is awesome. This weapon's very good if you have enemies that are weak to dark. It'll be dealing that extra 60 damage, can really pack a punch. Now, the requirements for this are 25 strength and 40 dexterity, quite a bit higher than the other Greatbows that we've talked about before, but it is nice and worth it if you manage to get this from a Possessed Armor. Now, if you manage to get this from a Possessed Armor without even knowing, you are a master and RNG god. Congratulations, I will bow down to you. I don't know how people do this. They always say, oh, I was just playing through the area and I got this. Yet I sit here and farm this for forever and never get them. If you guys know any tricks to getting these things faster, please let me know, because I always just max out my, rare item find value, and I still never find them. Anyways, enough on that little rare drop rant. Let's move on to the last but not least Greatbow, the Twin-Headed Greatbow. The twin-headed Greatbow is, thankfully, a guaranteed drop in the Crown of the Ivory King DLC. Go to the third bonfire and progress as if you're going up normally to find the Alon Captain. Now you will get to the place right before his room. Instead of going in, continue down the other hallway, and if you continuously spam the interact button, you will find an illusory wall. Now drop down, turn around, and you will find a bunch of enemies. Once you kill all of these guys, you can go through the corridor, open the chest, and you will get the twin-headed Greatbow. Thank you so much for making this a guaranteed drop. I hate farming these enemies to get these weapon drops. Now, this bad boy is unique, just like pretty much all of the other Greatbows, which is one of the reasons I love this weapon category. This is a purely strength-dedicated Greatbow. You will need 45 strength and 15 dexterity to use it, but at upgrade rank 5, you will have a whopping 260 base damage and an S scaling in strength. Heck yes, I love S scaling. Even if it doesn't do an insane amount of help, it just looks so cool to see that S there on your weapon. I don't know why, it is so satisfying for me. If you have a strength build, you'll be able to grab this thing and use it right away, and you will just be doing massive amounts of damage to all of your enemies. Now, one of my favorite things about the twin-headed Greatbow is actually that little spin of the bow you do before you load the arrow up into it to shoot it. It's not really practical in real life, and it's only there for show, but I absolutely love it. The Greatbows have a large wind-up time. Why not make it look awesome when you're winding it up? But yeah, I'd probably say this is my favorite Greatbow to use just because of the fact that it has an S scaling in strength, making you able to do massive amounts of base damage, which is just a lot of fun. I love doing a bunch of physical damage. Enchantments are fun, but sometimes you gotta go bare bones and just beat the crap out of their flesh and bone. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like rating down below and subscribe to see some more videos in the future, and make sure to check out the videos in the outro if you'd like to see some more. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.